This is how everybody acts in this case.
Stomach and cut along the backbone to the Pope's nose like so. Now I've done it. I've cut the dickens out of my finger. Well, I'm glad in a way this happened. You know, accidents do from time to time in the kitchen. We never really discussed what to do.
There you go, Dylan. There you go, Dylan. What do I do? Should I call 911? Hello, my lovelies, my sugars, my dudes, my lads, lords, lilies. Hey, well, of course we have to do Miss Dillon now, don't we? We can't leave her out of this party. Oh, no, no, no. So, yes, you've seen other people do it, but I'm doing it. And this, we are going to start with Miss Dillon, my prime, her first interview. Okay, and this is with Detective Mallory. And, well, we are going to rock and roll, baby. We're going to rock and roll. Let's go. Let's take a look, babies. Let's take a look. Oh, and we're going to play Spot the Lie. Remember, spot the lie, spot the red flags. Okay? All right, let's go. Let's go, babies. Again, Dylan. And this comes from, now this is supplement, well, you'll see it. It's supplement 42. It's in the very first 150, okay, of their documents. All right. Let's go. Let's go. All right, babies. Let's go. Okay. This is November 13th. This is now this was when it was written. 11:15, 2 days after the unalivings. Okay. November 13th. Now this is Detective Mallory. Where is he? Oops. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Let's go up. Mallory. All right. Sequence number 42 for those who are looking for it. In the documents, it's under 40, the first 150. All right. I was directed to interview potential witnesses in regards to the incidents, okay? Interview 1. Miss Dillon, one of my prime. Here we go. On 11/13, Dillon was interviewed in regard to the unalivings at the King Roadhouse. Dillon said she was a resident of the house where the incident occurred. Dillon said she was at a fraternity party, I'm guessing, at around 10:30 a.m. on 11/22, where she was drinking. Dillon said she went to the house. Dillon said she believed she arrived home between 12:30 a.m. and 1 a.m. hours on 11/13. Okay. Dillon said she thought Bethany arrived home at around 20 minutes after she arrived. Okay. All right. So let's say she gets home, let's say 1 o'clock, whatever, between those 12:31. She says the Hobbit probably came home about 20 minutes after her. So what are we putting at? What? I don't know, 12:50 to 1:20, whatever. Dillon said she believed Maddie and Kaylee arrived home at around 1:30 or 2 on that night. That morning. We know it was after 2 o'clock, but whatever. Dillon said up to this, nothing weird had happened during the night. Dillon said she and her friend, L, came home, followed by Bethany from the party, Sigma, I don't know, one of the frat party, right? Or whatever. Dillon said L lived at the house, I don't know, and Bethany was her roommate at the residence. Okay, I don't fucking know, guys. I may be reading that wrong. I don't fucking know. What the hell? All right. Dylan said when Maddie, Mogan, and Kaylee came home from the corner club at the same time, and everyone went to bed. Dylan was asked about the... Spot the lie. Gee, I thought we were up talking and deciding if we were going to order food or not. Where'd that go? Where did that go? Remember? Remember, first interview with police. Dylan was asked about the layout of her house. Dylan said Kaylee's room was directly above her room. Dylan said she lived on the second floor and Kaylee lived on the third floor. Dylan said Kaylee and Maddie both live upstairs, on the third floor in separate rooms. Dylan said Lana lived closest to the bathroom on the second floor and Bethany lived on the first floor. Great. When asked about Murphy, Dylan said it was a dog owned in common between Kaylee and her ex-boyfriend Jack DeCour. Dylan said there was no apparent issues between Kaylee and Jack. Dylan said Maddie had a boyfriend named Jake who lived in Boise at the time of the incident. Okay. Dylan indicated Xana was dating Ethan, okay, we know that, who was in the room with her at the time of the incident. Dylan did not know of anyone who'd want to hurt Ethan when she was asked. Okay. Dylan was asked if she saw any cars in the area that should not be there. Dylan said, no, I was not really looking at that. Okay, what were you looking at? Okay, I wasn't really looking at that. All right, what were you looking at? Yeah, were you looking at the bloody footprints you were trying to clean up? Anyway, Dylan said she woke up around, 4 a.m. She doesn't mention the 3:51 a.m. contact she made in her phone, but okay. Dylan said she woke up around 4 a.m. on that morning, where she could hear, not hear, like as in I heard a sound. It's just saying. God. Where she could hear Kaylee and Murphy, the dog, dancing. Oh my God. Guys, should I just stop now? Let's read that again. She heard Kaylee and Murphy, the dog, dancing. But then again, Bethany's saying, remember? Maddie's like, where the fuck's the dog? Remember? Maddie came down to Bethany's room and said, do you know where Murphy is? I can't find him. And Maddie's like, no, I don't know where the dog is. But all of a sudden, at 4 a.m., Dylan is hearing her and Kaylee and Murphy and the dog. They're doing a little samba up in the room. Okay, Dylan, my prime, I love you. You are a fucking prime. You are the fucking prime, aren't you? Yes, you are. Psychotic prime. Dylan said she knew it was Kaylee because she recognized her voice and could hear Murphy's barking. Okay. And doing a little samba. Samba in the rain. No, samba in the snow. Right? Dylan said she thought she heard Kaylee run back down the stairs. Okay, I guess from running up the stairs? Okay, all right, Dylan. Dylan said Kaylee sounded scared when she made this statement. Oh, I'm sorry, I totally fucking missed that. Said she recognized her voice and could hear Murphy barking. Oh, fuck it, I totally missed this. Where she could hear Kaylee and Murphy, the dog, dancing. Okay. Dylan said she knew it was Kaylee because she recognized her voice and could hear Murphy's barking. Dylan said she heard Kaylee go upstairs and say, there is someone here. Now remember, this is where the defense says this is impossible because Kaylee was unalived. Remember that. Defense said this is impossible because Kaylee was unalived. Here. So, there is someone here. Dylan said, now remember this. Dylan is quite sure she was Kaylee's voice. Remember. Dylan, this is a complete fucking lie. Remember, Dylan, the cop just asked her, well, how do you know it was her? And she said, well, I knew it from her voice and the dog barking, right? But the defense knows that's impossible because Kaylee was unalived at this point. Remember that, guys. Right? Right. Okay, good old Prime. Good old fucking Prime here. So there's someone here. Dylan said she thought she heard Kaylee run back down the stairs. Again, that's impossible. Dylan said Kaylee sounded scared when she made this statement. Remember, this is a complete lie. Complete lie. Dylan, this is screw up number 7,625 on the Prime's part. Right? Because she knows Kaylee's voice, right? So this is a lie. This is an absolute lie, right, guys? You're not going to mistake Kaylee's voice with Xana's voice, are you? Nope. There you go. Let's spot the lies. Dylan said at this time she jumped up and locked the door because she did not know what else to do. You didn't know what else to do? Hey, Prime. Hey, it's called dialing 3 little fucking numbers. Yeah. Anyway, Dylan said she called out Kaylee's name and did not indicate if she got a response. Okay. And now this is some great interrogation work, isn't it, guys? Dylan said she then tried to call Kaylee, Xana, and Maddie on their phones. Why? Dylan was asked if she saw anyone come downstairs or heard anything. Dylan said, no, I don't even know how they got in. Okay? Who got in? Guys. Who got in? Right here. Who got in? Bam. Bam. Who got in, Dylan? Your friends? Your frat boys? Your frat buddies? How did they get in? Yeah. How they got in. They. Yeah. We're usually pretty good about locking doors and stuff and locking doors and never had problems before. Well, that's a complete fucking lie because they had problems before. Remember? There was one incident that occurred not that long before this where the door was found wide open. Remember, they're going in there with golf clubs because they think somebody's in the house. Another lie. I was just really random. I was just really random. That's what she fucking said. Now, guys, I was just really random. If she is not psychotic, again, she's my Prime, and she's psychotic, okay? Think about that. She says, I was just really random. Like what? Like a star out in the universe somewhere, right? Psychotic. Yeah. When asked again about the series events, Dylan said she opened the door when she cried out to Kaylee. Now she's crying out to Kaylee. Okay. Then closed the door because she was scared, but didn't call 911. And then here the detective should ask, well, why didn't you call 911 if you're so fucking scared, Dylan? Guys, they didn't put the screws to that. This is not a real interrogation, guys. Remember that video. You're going to go in there like a badass, like a bat. You're going to go in there with these two roommates, right? And you're going to be a bat out of hell with them. And you're going to tell them, look, you have information that I need and you're going to tell it to me. And we're not going to leave this room until you tell me exactly what you know. And believe me, and you'd say this also, and don't lie to me because I'm going to know when you're lying. So don't do it. Remember that? That's how you're going to approach these people. Do you see that in here? No. Cream puff stuff here. No, you're going to be pissed off as hell when you go in that interrogation room and you're going to look her dead in the face and you're going to say, look, we ain't leaving this room until you tell me exactly what happened and don't lie to me. That's what you're going to do. But they didn't do that here. Because Cream Puff, Dylan said she then opened the door again and heard who she thought was Kaylee, but could have been Xana. Well, gee, which one is it? You know their voices, right? You fucking lying prime. Could have been Xana crying in the bathroom, which is like, 3 feet from her bedroom door. Dylan said she then heard a man's voice say, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Yep. Dylan said it was weird because the statement was not in a nice way, and the voice was one she had never heard before. So let's think about this. It's okay, I'm gonna help you. Not in a nice way. Stanley, it's okay, I'm gonna help you. Yeah, like that, Dylan? Like that kind of voice? It was one she had never heard before. Yeah, I highly doubt it. Dylan said she called out to Kaylee again for no reason and didn't call police. Dylan said she called out to Kaylee again for no reason, and there was no crying after that. And she did not know what happened after that. Okay, so let's go back to, snorting dust. I don't know. Dylan said she opened the door again, and the guy is right there. Oh my Lord, help me. Dylan described the male as approximately her height, about 5-10 inches or a few inches taller. Here's all the skinny stuff. Not skinny, but athletic build. No basketball yet. Dylan said the suspect was wearing all black with masks, not masks that covered just his forehead and goes around his face. Dylan showed with her hands the mask exposed his nose, but covered the mouth area. No mention of eyebrows. No mention of eyes. Dylan said she believed the suspect was white, but she didn't remember. But did not remember eyebrow color. Why would she remember eyebrow color? Or what his eyes looked like. Okay, there you go. Dylan said when she saw the suspect, he saw her. He saw her. And left her live. And just left. There you go. Line number 7,655. Because again, Brian Kohlberger, who just got done taking somebody's face off, sees her and just left. Yep. Okay, Dylan. I love you, my psychotic prime. Well, Stanley loves you because you're cut from the same cloth. Anyway, Dylan said she believed he was building something near his stomach. Holding something near his stomach. Or belt line. Okay, so they're just looking at each other. I guess she's just watching him fuck around with something around his waist. And they're just kind of smiling at each other, right, Dylan? Dylan used both hands to point straight out from her abdomen. Dylan then moved her hands apart and back together to simulate a bulge. Now, Master Nature, don't you get the lilies all riled up now, all right, baby? It ain't midnight yet, baby. All right. Knock it off. Hey, Tyrone, that's for another place and time. All right? We're not talking about that kind of bulge. Jesus. Anyway. I'll tell you, my spirit guys, they have spirit minds of their own, don't they? Dylan said this area was black in color, and she thought now maybe it was a gun. Okay. And Dylan said the unknown object had an arrow shape. An arrow shape. Dylan seemed really unsure, I bet, and said she was tired during the event and psychotic and fucked up and loaded. and hallucinating. Yeah, my psychotic prime. Dylan was asked how long she believed it was from the time Kaylee said, "Someone is here," to when she saw the suspect. I mean, her friend. You mean one of her friends. Dylan said she thought it was about 10 or 20 minutes. Dylan went on to say she was in and out of it, and she did, yeah, always the classic, in and out of it, I don't know, I don't, blah, 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 blah. And she did not fully remember the incident. Oh my Lord. Dylan was asked where the suspect was at in the residence when Dylan saw him. Okay? Dylan was asked where the suspect was at in the residence when Dylan saw him. Dylan said the suspect was between her bedroom door and the kitchen. Dylan said she remembered watching the suspect go out the kitchen door and leave and let her live. Dylan said at this time she closed her door and called didn't call 911 at all, ever, and closed her door and locked it as fast as she could. Ooh, I bet, Dylan. Dylan said the suspect did not walk toward her. Dylan said the suspect did not walk toward her or say anything. Keep that in mind. But yet, they're 2 feet apart from each other, right? And he's fucking around with something in his waist area, right? And she's like, gee, should I ask if he can make me a grilled cheese sandwich? I don't know, maybe I shouldn't. Anyway, Dylan said once the suspect left, she immediately called police. No, excuse me. Dylan said once the suspect left, she immediately called Bethany the Hobbit. Dylan said Bethany informed her she heard a sound that sounded like a firework. Okay, here we go. Yep. Dylan then said she told Bethany she called everyone and nobody was answering. Dylan said she was in and out of it. And believed everyone was just asleep. Oh my fucking God, guys. Now think about this. If you're a real police detective, okay, if you're okay, Ken Maines, Mr. Ken Maines, if you're watching this, right? If you're the person interviewing Dylan, what would you be doing right now, Mr. Ken Maines? What would you be asking her? Think about this. You just read a pile of dogs. You're just hearing a pile of nonsense and lies. Ken Maines, what would you be asking right now of your prime suspect that's right in front of you? I mean, I call her the prime, but there are other co-primes here. Okay, right? Remember, I call her the prime though. Okay, but so Ken Maines, what would you be doing in this very moment in this interrogation room with her? What would you do? If you heard this coming out of your prime suspect's mouth, would you laugh at her? I mean, would you look at her like, you want to try that again? Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah. I was in and out of it and believed everyone was just asleep. I thought Kaylee was running up and down the fucking steps. I thought you heard somebody say, "I'm here to fucking help you, you fucking prick," in that kind of tone. But I guess everybody was just sleeping, right, Dylan, my prime? Psychotic. Fucking hell. You tell me Dylan's not fucking psychotic here, guys. Yes, she's been she's pre-psychotic ever since she was 16 years old. Anyway, Dylan said she then went to Bethany's room, locked the door, and went to bed. Nope, did not. Dylan said she woke up at around 11 or 1200 hours and called her roommates and no one answered. She woke up around 11 a.m. or 12 noon. That's what she says. Let's just debunk that right now, shall we? Here we go. Here we fucking go. This is line number 7,255 by Dylan Mortensen, the prime suspect in this case. You just saw in her very first police interview that same day, hey, or close to that, whatever. But anyway, it's a lie. She said she got up about 11 or 12. Oh, but at 8:05, she's on Instagram. At 8:05 to 10, where she's supposedly sleeping, she's on Instagram. 10:01, she's messaging, Snapchat. 10:00, Instagram, Indeed. She's supposed to be sleeping here, guys, right? She's sleeping. I guess she's doing this in her fucking sleep. Right? Right. She's doing this all in her sleep. Uh-huh. Yeah. So, this is when she supposedly got up, guys. Well, at the latest by, 11 and 12. Right. But yet she's on Instagram and Snapchat, and she's still sleeping here, guys. Oh, she's still sleeping here, too, where she texts KG. Oh, yeah, she's sleeping here, too, when she's on Instagram and messaging again on Snapchat. Oh, yeah, she must be sleeping when she's on Yik Yak and TikTok, right? Still sleeping here when she's on Snapchat. Texting dad, she's still fucking sleeping. In fact, she's still sleeping all the way up until the fucking 911 call, according to her, right? Right. So again, why isn't Dylan Mortensen in jail right now, guys? Why isn't she in jail along with the Hobbit, along with Jack Showalter? Why aren't these three rotting underneath the fucking Idaho State Penitentiary? This is her very first interview right after the unalivings. And she told, and this is one of the biggest lies. This is, again, how many lies now are we up to with her? There you go, guys. It's as easy as that. I'm sorry. Yeah. Woke up around 11 a.m. or 12 noon. Just saw that was a complete lie. Right. And called her roommates and no one answered. Oh, my good grief. Dylan said she called H. H came to the residence. Went upstairs. Oh, my God. And told Dylan they needed to call law enforcement immediately. Dylan was asked if Hunter... No, I'm sorry. Yeah, called... No, that's not what happened. But that's another lie. Hunter came to the residence with his girlfriend. They went upstairs and Hunter told Dylan they need to call law enforcement immediately. Dylan was asked... I'm correcting her own shit here. Dylan was asked if there was anything else she wanted to share. That's some interrogation work. Oh my God. Ken Maines, are you laughing right now? Is this good police detective work, Ken Maines? You know? Hey, Ken Maines, is this good interrogation? Okay, Ken Maines. Yeah. Dylan said the noise Bethany described... oh, God. Dylan said the noise Bethany described as... Jesus Christ. The noise as a loud boom. Loud boom. But Dylan did not hear it. Another lie. Bethany contradicts her. Here. Remember in Bethany's statements, Dylan said she also heard the noise. When they were talking, remember? Bethany asked her, hey, did you hear that sound? And Dylan said, yes, I heard that too. Remember? That's another lie. Again, how many lies are we up to with the prime suspect, guys? How many lies are we up to? Can we count them? Unbelievable. Dylan was asked if any of her roommates shared any weird experiences in the last couple weeks or calls or texts. Dylan said no. It's been all normal. In this psychotic's fucking brain, I guess. Oh my God, nothing weird at all. Okay, yeah, remember, a bear walks into your house, and, that's, whatever, hey, Hey, can I make you a fucking bologna sandwich? Anyway, nothing really weird happens in Moscow usually. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, guys. Wait a minute. I need, guys, I definitely need a fucking bottle of vodka. Okay, I'm sorry. Nothing really weird happens in Moscow usually. Oh my god. This is a joke. This is like a comedy routine. Oh my god. I'd be laughing my ass off. If I was a detective, I'd be laughing my fucking ass off. I mean, if it wasn't so serious, guys, I'd be laughing my balls off here. When asked if there were any altercations at the fraternity party, or Dylan said no, everything was kosher. Dylan mentioned again she was with Bonnie and no, again she was with Dee and Xana at the party. Ooh, okay. Okay. Dylan was asked if anyone was having any S relations with anyone. They shouldn't be. Well, I don't know what that fucking means, but whatever. That's a stupid question, but whatever. This is one of the worst detectives I've ever fucking heard in my life. Detective Mowry. Holy crap, dude. I think you should retire and drive a fucking bus into a wall. Yeah. Dylan said no. Everybody was having S. It didn't matter. Yeah, whatever. Everyone was cool. I guess. I don't fucking know, guys. Dylan brought up an incident which occurred about a month prior. Okay, so in October. Dylan said she and Bethany remembered Kaylee saw a shadow while she was taking Murphy outside to go to the bathroom. Dylan said Kaylee also mentioned when she was at blank 2 or 3 weeks prior, an individual was following her. Dylan also said she arrived home one time and the door to the residence at the King Road was found open. Now remember what we just read about 2 minutes ago. She said there was no weird incidents that happened at the house. But here we go. She's contradicting herself. Now she's lying, right? There's a contradiction again. Oh, except that one time when we found the door wide open to our house. Yeah, and that's when we went in and got those golf clubs, right? Remember, Dylan said she did not believe the slider door was locked the night of 11/22. Oh, but before that, she said, yeah, we usually lock the doors. Again, lies and contradicting. Dylan said she heard Murphy barking a lot around 4 a.m. But Murphy wasn't even in the house because Maddie went down at 2 a.m. and asked Maddie where the dog was, and nobody knew where the fucking dog was. And no, the dog wasn't dancing around doing the samba with Kaylee at 4 o'clock in the morning. Right? Right. When Kaylee went upstairs. Dylan would chase a suspect outside. What? Oh my God, guys. Oh my God. Let's read that again. Dylan would chase a suspect outside, being the scaredy cat of the house. Right. Dylan said she did not remember if the suspect who ran left the slider door open. Now, is this a typo? I think this prick detective who can't write either, I think he meant to say she wouldn't chase the suspect outside. All right? That's a big difference. Right, Detective Mowry? You stupid prick? Learn how to write, because that's a big difference between chasing somebody outside and not chasing the suspect outside. Oh my God. Moscow, Idaho. Well, first of all, your whole police department needs to be investigated by the Federal Bureau and other agencies. Your whole police department needs to be put under investigation. Oh, I don't know, like about, 3 years ago? If not longer than that? Yeah, because A, you guys don't know how to write police reports or statements, and that's a huge difference. Okay? It may not sound like it, but that's a big difference. Yes, it is. Okay. So, guys, I'm going to leave it right there. That's interview number 1. Okay? Are we having fun yet with the prime? Guys, can you believe this? Can you believe what we just read and went over? Can you believe this? Well, obviously no, right? How many lies were in this? Compare that with the text messaging. All right, I'm going to leave it right there, babies. I love you. We have to split it up because, again, this is going to go on and on. I love you, and we want to take it in chunks because it's easier to compare the lies that way. It's easier to compare all the lies. All right, I love you all. I hope you like that one. I love my garden. Hey, I love my garden. Again, you guys are the best. I love your comments, your thoughts. I mean, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. So keep it. Hey, this is why we're doing this, right? This is why we're here. I love you all. I'll talk to you a little later. Okay, bye bye. Bye bye.